In the beginning, there was a game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. All of the people on this fucking planet pre-purchased this game and couldn't wait to play the fucking game. As soon as it came out, we were addicted, and we were sitting in front of our fucking PCs through COVID, through everything. We went through multiple phases when it came to Call of Duty Modern Warfare. With a slight plot twist, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 got released. We all pre-purchased this game and couldn't wait to play the fucking game. It got released, it came out, it was amazing. With another slight plot twist, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 recently got released. We started playing it, we started loving it, and it was the best thing ever. Slight little bit of a disadvantage over here. We got Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone version. Free to play game. Our game is absolutely dog shit. Doesn't matter if your game is plugged in directly into the space station. You cannot get enough internet connection to this game. Slight plot twist. No FPS. Comes with a lot of including extra packs. Extra packs including FPS drops, packet bursts, game not running correctly, game not launching, game not working correctly, want to throw PC out window. And as we go on, this is an FPS boost guide from Software and Hardware Solutions.
What's up guys, and welcome back to Software and Hardware Solutions, and I hope you guys enjoyed that intro. Like I said, I don't sugarcoat anything when it comes to Call of Duty. I say it like it is, and that's just how it is. Call of Duty has now released the reloaded version for Season 1, and it is out, and it's playable right now, and it had a huge update. Now, I'm going to show you the best settings you can use in this game right now at this very moment to run your game the way it should run and achieve the FPS you should achieve with your specific rig, your specific machine, or your specific laptop or gaming computer, or whatever the case might be. Now, it doesn't matter what type of user you are, Windows 10, Windows 11, low-end machine, medium-end machine to a high-end machine, it doesn't matter, I got you covered. Alright, let's jump straight into this. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the quality tab right now, and this is something that I just want to mention, is a lot of people say that you have to play in full screen exclusive, and it will actually give you like less input latency and stuff like that. Now, there is a huge debate on this. It's only there if you want to use full screen exclusive. It's actually only there if you only have one monitor or one display unit. Let's say you got a laptop display, okay? Now, if you have multiple monitors like me, there's no physical difference because I don't get latency issues and problems and stuff like that. When I play my game in full screen borderless, I have two monitors and then my main screen where I play my game on, so I have three screens. And I play this in full screen borderless mode and my game runs perfectly fine. But yet again, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's your own personal preference of what you're going to choose inside here. But I do recommend running your game in full screen exclusive for the less input latency and just in general for your gameplay to be a little bit smoother overall if you only have one display. If you've got multiple displays, go with full screen borderless. You should be good to go. I play like this and I don't get stutters. If you feel you get stutters while having this on and you have multiple displays, then try the full screen exclusive and you should be good to go. A lot of people do play in windowed mode with lower budget gaming machines, and I'm not here to judge, I'm here to help everyone out there. So try this out. Try the windowed mode. Try the full screen extended windowed mode. It doesn't matter. Whatever you choose inside here is your own personal preference to boost your FPS and to make your game run smoother. Right now, I'm using full screen borderless, and this is what I'm using right now at this very moment. Right, just jump straight into the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step would be the brightness option. And if I go in here and I go to my brightness, I have my brightness at 60%. This is where I have my brightness. Now, you don't want to over brighten this. If you over brighten this, the game's going to look like dog shit. You don't want that, and I mean it's going to hurt your eyes, so you don't want that. So I would hit it between 55 or 60 and then leave it there. Don't go higher than 60. Please don't go higher than 60. Your game starts looking washed out and it doesn't look good at all. So 55 or 60 and you should be good to go. Just follow my guidelines, ladies and gentlemen, and if this worked for you, smash that motherfucking like button, leave a comment down below. Right? Hit 55 or hit 60% in the brightness and you should be good to go. Let's jump straight into the next step. Alright, so constant mouse to game window is just something that they added into Call of Duty so that if you put this on and you apply it, you cannot get off of your main screen if you have multiple screens, okay? So I highly recommend turning this off if you have multiple screens, because then you can just get off of your screen and go onto your other monitors. I can go onto my left and right hand side monitor and get off of the screen. If you have Discord or I don't know, whatever, you've got multiple screens and you're doing things on those screens like chatting to people or Googling something or whatever the case might be, whatever you're doing on your other screens, it doesn't matter what you do, rather leave this off, okay? And you can leave this off if you have one screen also. Just leave it completely off. Right now, at this very moment with NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency, I highly recommend that you go ahead and put this on plus boost. Now, it's debatable yet again what you're going to put this on. Now, all you're going to need to do is actually open your eyeballs and read what the fuck it says here, and you should be good to go. It says off, low latency mode is disabled. Then on, it says low latency mode is enabled and optimizing system latency. Now, if you want to, you can just go with on, and this can help you. It's about the bottlenecking in your machine. What is bottlenecking your machine? Do you have an older generation CPU with a newer generation graphics card, or do you have a newer generation CPU and an older generation graphics card? Right now, at this very moment, with my specific machine, I run a 9700K RTX 2060 OC and 16 gigs of RAM, and I run this at on plus boost. It runs perfectly fine with my rig, and it runs perfectly for this game, for Warzone. I highly do recommend putting this on plus boost if you can get away with it, right? I'm getting away with it, so this is the reason why I have it on plus boost. All right, now, eco mode is something that Call of Duty implemented into the game a little while back. They took it out and then they brought it back in. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with them. Like I said, Call of Duty smokes crack. I feel that they smoke lace crack. They do some kind of drugs. I don't know what kind of drugs they're doing, but yeah, that's their problem. Let them do their drugs. And anyways, ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead and put this on custom. Don't put this on this. Don't put this on this. It's actually just going to decrease your FPS inside your menus. And it could sometimes, I've seen in cases where it decreases your FPS while playing the game as well, which it shouldn't, but sometimes it does. Call of Duty is a fuck show, so it sometimes fucks out or sometimes doesn't. So we can't have sometimes games, you know? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We can't have that, right? So rather just have this at custom. Please go ahead and put this at custom. All right, VSync, please go ahead and turn this to 100% if you are getting screen tearing in your game. This is the only reason why you would want this on. And another reason would be to cap your FPS to the refresh rate of your monitor. So if you got a 120 Hertz monitor or 144 Hertz monitor or all the way up to 240 or even higher monitor, then go ahead and put this at 100% and it will cap your frames to the refresh rate of your monitor. So you do that specific frame. So let's just say 120, then you'll only do 120. But that's if your machine can run up to 120 frames a second. A lot of machines out there are struggling to even do 120. So if you aren't getting any screen tearing and your game is not doing that, where the screen is physically tearing, you can just go ahead and turn it off like mine. And then obviously VSync in the menus. I do not know who the fuck gets screen tearing in the fucking menu. So I don't know about that. I really don't know. But I highly do recommend turning both of these off over here if you aren't getting screen tearing in your game and you don't want to cap your FPS. Now, another place that you can cap your FPS is over here where it says custom frame rate limit. Now you can go ahead and go inside here and then go to custom. Obviously put this at the highest value that you can put this at, and then it says menu, so this is in the menu itself. So let's just say you want to cap it to the refresh rate of your screen and you got a 144, you put your 144 and you press enter. Let's say when you minimize out of the game by pressing the Windows key, or you go to your other screen and then the game just automatically minimizes, you can put this on 30 like this, and that is something that a lot of people do. Now I'm not going to judge you anymore. I normally literally shit on the people that do this because you really don't need to do this. But if you feel that this is something you want to do because you want to save your GPU or its lifespan or whatever the case might be, you must be running a really shit graphics card if your graphics card can't know what you're doing with the settings inside of a game, all right? So newer generation graphics cards right now, or even older generation graphics cards, are capable of running on unlimited perfectly fine. Your GPU is not physically gonna call you and be like, hey, mister, hey, can you please cap the frames? I'm dying here. No, your GPU is not going to do that. Your GPU is not going to jump out your case and run out your fucking front door. All right? I've been playing Call of Duty my whole entire fucking life, right? And I've been always capping my frames at unlimited frames so I could see the highest frames that I do in this game. And it's uncapped, so it'll constantly do high frames. That's why I have it unlimited. It can do nothing to your machine. Right, menu render resolution. Now, yet again, ladies and gentlemen, you literally just need to read on the right-hand side what it says. It says native, no reduction, optimal, slight reduction, and then maximum, it says maximum reduction. Then it says note, this reduces energy consumption by limiting the load on the GPU without impacting performance or visual quality during gameplay. So it seems like Call of Duty is very on the verge of thinking, oh my god, we might bring in a setting into this game and then destroy people's computers, right? destroy their GPUs or whatever the case might be. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to happen. That is never going to happen where you choose a setting inside this game and your GPU just starts catching a light and I don't know, and you can start a fire and then you can just throw a nice braai there, a barbecue or whatever the case might be. No, just fucking put this on native and leave it at native so there's no reduction at all. Right, pause game rendering. This is something that I highly recommend you just go ahead and put off. You do not need this to be on. Okay, focus mode, go ahead and turn this to 0. If you have multiple screens, it's a nice feature because what you can do is you can put this all the way to 100, then apply it, then both your screens, or if you've got one screen, one extra screen, it will go black. Completely black, and it can only focus, it will make you only focus on the main screen that you're playing your game on. Now, for me, I put it at 0 because I want to be able to see on my right and left hand side screens, so I leave it at 0. It's a nice feature in Call of Duty just to make you focus on the game itself if you don't want to be occupied by your other screens and you don't want to get up and press the buttons on your screens to turn them off. Right? But I don't know who's going to do that, so this is a pretty cool feature. I'm not going to lie, it's a cool, neat feature. But yet again, they're bringing in a feature like this instead of fixing the fucking game. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into the quality tab. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the quality tab right now, and obviously this is going to be on custom as soon as you start changing things inside here. Now, I run my game on Intel's upscaling at quality, and then also I do prefer NVIDIA DLSS, and I run it at balance, and then 80% on the sharpness. Now, this is my own personal preference, okay? Every single person out there is going to have their own upscaling and their own sharpening that they are using, depending on the machine that they are using. Now, Call of Duty actually implemented a brand new feature, which is AMD FSR 3.0 instead of 2.1, right? So this actually is a really nice one to go and use, but let's get over all of these options over here, right? So let's go over them. So Intel, I use this, I used to use it a lot, and I actually moved over now to DLSS, and my game runs perfectly fine on NVIDIA DLSS on balanced and 80% over here. This is my own personal preference with my specific screen and my specific machine, alright? If you can get away with this, go ahead and use this, alright? Now, this one over here, NVIDIA DLAA, is an option that I'm just going to puke on, and I always skip it, and I always will skip it. It's a shit option, don't choose it. NVIDIA image scaling is a really good option, and I highly recommend using it if you want to get really good frames out of your game, and then also have a very smooth gameplay experience and make your game look really, really well. The game looks like a AAA title game, and I know a few of them makes the game look like a AAA title game, which is in this one over here. For me, it might not do it for you, but for me, this makes the game look like a AAA title game. DLSS does it as well, depending on what settings you use. And then this one as well. It makes the game look really, really good, okay? So if your machine can handle this, go ahead and choose it. You can go to native, or you can go to ultra quality or quality. Just do not put this on performance. You're going to throw your PC out your window. Please don't go ahead and do that. Rather run it at quality, ultra quality, or native when it comes to NVIDIA image scaling. All right, now from here, we're going to go to AMD FSR 1.0, and you're going to come over here and go to quality if you have got a budget gaming machine. I highly recommend using AMD FSR 1.0 if you've got a budget gaming machine. Please go ahead and do so. Please just do not put this on performance. You can run balance and you'll get a slight bit more FPS out of your game. But what do you want? Do you want your game to look good and do decent FPS? Or do you want a lot of FPS and your game looks like dog shit? Which one do you want? You need to choose, right? So I would rather go to quality so that I get quality out of the game as well with that specific machine that you're running. That you get quality out of the game and you get performance out of the game as well. Now, another thing is the new one, which is AMD FSR 3.0. You go over here and you come over here and then you can choose a few over here. It says ultra performance. The game is absolutely going to look like atrocious. And like I said, you'll either going to pick up a hammer and smash your screen. Please don't do that. So please don't choose this option. Don't choose performance. You can either choose balance, which is okay, and it can actually increase performance, increase the gameplay's look, and also make your game run perfectly fine. Now, if your machine can handle it on AMD FSR 3.0, run it at quality, or you can run it at native. What native will do is it will actually just push out the resolution of your screen. So let's say you're running a 720p monitor, it will run it at 720p, 1080p, 1440p, 2K, 4K, whatever the case might be, whatever it is, go ahead and put it on native and it will run the native resolution. This one over here is very debatable, okay? It's very, very debatable and I don't recommend putting it on. But When you put this on, it's going to give you more frames in the game. You will actually see more frames, but it's going to be atrocious when you play. It's going to give you more performance, like in general in FPS, but your game's going to feel like it's stuttering, and it's going to feel like your game is running like dog shit. Now, obviously, you don't want that. You want a smooth gameplay experience and good FPS. Then rather just turn this off and then choose which one you want here, either native, quality, or balance. Please just don't use these two options. Please, for the love of fuck, don't use these two options. All right, we go over this and we go to Fidelity FX Cache. Fidelity FX Cache, a lot of people are still using this option right now, and it makes the game really sharp, and a lot of people will go ahead and put this at 50, so it's not too sharp because 100% is way too sharp, and it can actually have an effect on your eyes. By looking at the screen, you'll see everything's like really sharpened. So I rather hit 50, so it actually takes the sharpness away. So it's basically like anti-analyzing. It's very, very similar to it, and it will make your jagged edges smoother. Have this at 50% and you should be good to go when it comes to Fidelity FX Cache. But yet again, it's your own personal preference what you're going to put the strength on. Inside here, it's going to be your own personal preference. Right, this one over here, I highly recommend you go ahead and turn off. The VRAM scale is something I just want to go ahead and talk to you guys about. I have mine at 90 when I choose anything inside here. Anything with my specific rig, okay? But if you are going to use AMD FSR 3.0 at this very moment, the new option, and you want to try it out, go ahead and use it, and then put this at 75% like this. Run it like this, and you should be good to go. I can promise you, 75 is a sweet spot for AMD FSR 3.0. Go ahead and do that. You should be good to go if you're running this upscaling over here. If you prefer this upscaling, it runs very well, gives you performance, visuals, and your FPS runs really, really high, then use this option. All right, we're going to scroll down and we're going to come to the details and textures. Now, right now, this very moment, I'm playing my game at normal, okay? It runs perfectly fine on my machine, but what I would recommend to you guys in general, if you want more FPS out of your game and you want your game to run a little bit better, go to low. Whatever you do, do not put this on very low. You are going to throw up on your own keyboard how bad the game looks. Please don't do that. Rather put it at low or at normal. Only if your machine can handle normal and do above, I don't know, 120 FPS, 130, 140, 150, and it does above those frames, you can put this at normal and your game will run perfectly fine, and it actually makes the game look a slight bit better. But only a slight bit. Because low and normal, there's not a lot of visual difference. There isn't a lot of visual difference. You can go ahead and test this out yourself. I've done this multiple times. I do bench tests on this game itself before I actually make my videos. So believe me, there's not a lot of difference between low and normal. But if you've got a machine that can run normal, then go with normal, like me. Alright, texture filter anisotropic, I put this at low and leave it the fuck on low. Depth of field, I don't know who plays with this. Really, I don't know. But yet again, it's your own personal preference. For me, it's just I don't know why you would want to use this if it's a multiplayer fucking game. Turn it the fuck off. Don't use this. This is retarded if you're using it, okay? I'm not saying you're retarded. I know everyone has their own opinion, so please don't get offended on my fucking video. It's like, I don't want to offend you. I really don't. If you have this option on, that's good on you, man. Like, fucking enjoy it. But for me, as a fucking competitive player and a person that's been playing Call of Duty for fucking years, depth of field is just fucking stupid, and I don't even know why it's in this fucking game. It should only be in single player, not in fucking multiplayer. Detail quality level, I highly recommend that you go ahead and select this and then go to low and leave it at low. You do not need to see the detail quality level in this game. No one's gonna go around and running and like standing dead still and look at a plant and be like, yo dude, did you see that little ant like walk over that little leaf over there? No, not the fuck is someone gonna do that. You out running, trying to kill people in this game and trying to win the game or have fun in the game. But at least you don't want to lose frames. If you're gonna bump this up to normal or high, you are going to lose FPS. Don't do that. Leave it at fucking low and leave it there. This one over here, particle resolution, I highly recommend you put this on very low, okay? A lot of people are telling me I should put this on low. It's not going to do much of a visual impact, but I tested this myself. It actually decreases your FPS by 5. By 5. It literally takes 5 FPS more to put this at low. Just too low. That's not even normal or high. So put this at very low and you should be good to go, and there's not a lot of visual difference. Bullet impacts, go ahead and put it on. It's got no impact on your FPS, no impact on your gameplay, nothing. Put it on, all right? The effects, I highly recommend turning the effects off. You do not need to see it. You can still see all the effects with it being off or on. You'll still see all the effects. It's not like your effects are going to disappear. It's not like you're going to throw a grenade on the floor and it won't explode, or it will explode and you just don't see the explosion. That's not going to happen. Turn it off. It's an FPS hogger. Turn it off. Shader quality, right now, this very moment, I turn mine to low. I don't use medium. I don't use high. A few people has actually told me that they try and push this. Why, for the love of fuck, would you want to push up? Why, for the love of fuck, would you want to push up the shader quality in this game? I don't know, like, the game runs like shit. So don't push things up that you shouldn't be pushing up. Leave it at low and you'll be good to go. On-demand texture streaming, we're going to skip this option, leave this option, and fucking done. Local texture streaming quality, low. Right? If you got a very decent machine and you're hitting the 200 FPS and I don't know, 230, 240, 250 FPS, you can actually go ahead and put this at normal and it will make the game look a slight bit better. The overall visuals in the game looks much, much better when you put this at normal. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for low-end machines, medium-end machines, and even a machine like mine, my machine, I'm not going to put this at fucking normal. Low, and my game still looks perfectly fine. But for people out there that has really decent machines, I'm talking about you sold a kidney to buy your PC. That's fine. I don't care what you do to buy your PCs or whatever the case might be. You go ahead and put this at normal. Your game will look fucking fantastic. For me, I put this at low and my game still looks perfectly fine for me personally. All right. Now we're going to come to the shadow and lighting option. This is just an FPS hogger overall. So I highly recommend shadow quality very low right now at this very moment for the new reloaded season. Not low anymore, very low. Screen space shadows, you're going to go to off. You do not need it. Turn it the fuck off, all right? Just turn it off, okay? Ambient occlusion, off, always off, leave it the fuck off, and done, all right? Screen space reflections, off, leave it the fuck off, and done. Static reflection quality, low. I wish there was an off button, but unfortunately, there isn't an off button. Leave it at low, all right? Now, these play a very big role on your game as well. So, tessellation, off. Just turn it off. You don't need it. Volumetric quality, low. Yet again, I wish there was an off button. There isn't an off button. Physics, you do not need to see the physics in the game. You're going to turn it to low, off, and then done. And then you're going to apply your settings, okay? Now, I will apply my settings, but I'm just going to go up over here and then choose my normal one over here because I'm using the video DLSS at the moment at balance at 80%, and this is how I run my game right now at this very moment with 90% over here, and I apply these settings. This is how I run my game at this very moment with my specific machine. Please, ladies and gentlemen, choose the correct settings for your specific machine that you are running. All right, let's jump straight into the view tab. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the view tab right now, and you can go ahead and copy my settings as is if you want to. Inverted flash is a pretty cool feature. I highly recommend you go ahead and take advantage of it. Turn it on instead of your screen going completely white. It's very hectic, especially if you're playing this game in a dark room or at night. Your entire room goes white. You don't want that, and you become completely blind. You don't want that, so I turn mine on, and my screen goes black when they throw a flashbang. All right, so this is a cool feature to take advantage of. Go ahead and do so. You can copy my settings if you want to, but yet again, view is your own personal preference. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into a very, very important step to make your game look even better than what it's already looking now. Is you're going to change this over here. You're going to come inside here into interface, and you're going to come to color customization, and then you're going to come inside here. This is you. This is the color you are. It doesn't really matter what color you are. You could change the color to whatever the fuck you like, but just choose whatever color. I left mine as default. I mean, I'm not going to ping myself. So no, I leave my color as is, all right? Team and party should always be the same color, and then your enemy is your own personal preference on what color you're going to choose your enemy to be. I have mine as magenta pink, and it's always been magenta pink. My subscribers should know this, and I leave it like this, because nothing in this game is really pink, but yet again, ladies and gentlemen, it's your own personal preference on what color you're going to use inside here. Say apply custom color, and then you're good to go over here. You're going to scroll down, come to color filter, put this at filter 2, put this at both, 100%, 100%, and then you are good to go over here. Now, the most important thing that you need to do to apply the settings that you just changed now to your game is this right here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so you're going to come to the display tab and you're going to click on restart shader preloading and you're going to click on restart. Now, once you clicked on restart, you physically need to quit out of your game if you're playing it through Battle.net or you're playing it through Steam and then relaunch your game. Your game's going to say here at the top left corner, installing shaders or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It will start installing it for you. Leave it. Just go touch some grass, go do something. Just leave it, let it finish to 100% and let it say complete. It will sometimes normally come up on the right over here and say it's been completed, and then go ahead and jump into the game. Ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you, smash that like button, leave some feedback, leave a comment down below, become a member on my YouTube channel, and support my YouTube channel as much as you can, as much as I'm trying to support you and make your game run perfectly fine. As always, ladies and gentlemen, hope this video helped you, and as always, peace out.